In FirsDC, it is optional to measure forks, but usually if subtree quality is captured, forking assessment is applied. This tutorial will show you how to capture a forked tree. From the FirsDC menu on your device, click the three white bars to open up the main menu, the Plots menu, and open up the plot you intend to measure. Enter the date, save as draft, and click the Two Trees button. First, we're just going to enter some plain unforked trees, just by way of comparison. I'm going to set a dominance tree custom field default to make life easier for me. Add in another tree too. And this tree 3 is going to be the one that we actually apply the fork to. It's a slightly bigger tree, 3, 4, 5, still dominance 2. And what I'm going to do at this stage is I'm just going to show you from the Assistant menu the diagram that we have for forks to explain how forks work. Coming out of middle earth is always fork 0, and that occurs even if a tree isn't forked. Then at the height where a crosscut would be put in to recover two forks, a cut would need to be cut there and there as well, but to remove the fork crutch waste, the defected area, this is where what we refer to as fork height. And then coming from the fork height is fork 1 and fork 2. Note that a tree can only have one forking height or position, and that you can't have subsequent fork points further up on forks themselves. We'll just go back for that. So what we're going to do at this stage is we're going to add in, sorry, I'm just going to enter that S quality, save. We're going to add in a fork. So the first item it requires is the actual fork height. I'm going to enter 4.2. It's called it automatically fork 1. And the next piece of information it wants is the diameter percent. And the way forking works in FIRS is that rather than capturing an absolute fork size in millimeters, FIRS lets the taper model do the hard work, and all the assessor needs to record is a relative percentage of the fork compared to its other fork siblings. So in this case we've got two forks, and we're going to say that one's slightly bigger than the other one, and it represents a diameter percent of 60%. The type is a fork. You can have either fork, a normal fork, or a ramacorn, but this is a normal fork that we're looking at. And we're just going to now add in the quality for that fork point itself. We know that below it's all S for small branches and relatively straight. We're now going to put in a bit of medium branching, going until 9 meters, then some large branching till 14, and we're going to end with some chip. At this stage we're ready to add the second fork. So we click the plus fork, save and plus fork button again. And what we're presented with is that it's auto-filled the fork height, because this fork point must come from the same fork height. It's called it fork number 2. We've still got the same tree information of tree 3 and DBH 345, and quite conveniently it's automatically entered 40 into the diameter percent. In the first instance it assumes there's two forks, and it assumes that the second one must therefore add up to 100%. So it's automatically given at 40. You can of course override this. If you have 3 forks you might want to go 40, 30, 30. You just have to click in there and override it. Again, we need a quality for that fork, so enter that in and save that. We'll just add in one last normal tree again, just by way of comparison. Hit save because it's the last tree, and that just allows us to see over here that a normal tree has black font, but we see now these blue fonted forks. It's duplicated the tree number, and for the first time in this FK column we can see fork 1 and fork 2. So that's how you enter a tree in FirsDC. Tree with forks.